There is a town in California that is literally sinking into the earth, not metaphorically. The ground beneath it has dropped over 28 feet since the 1920s. NASA has documented it from space. The California Aqueduct, which carries water to 27 million people in Southern California, runs through the sinking zone. The town has 2 state prisons, a 25% poverty rate, and the ground is still dropping at a rate of 1 to 2 feet per year. And that is not even the worst place on this list. California has a city with the highest unemployment rate of any metro area in the United States, where summer temperatures regularly exceed 115 degrees Fahrenheit. A city directly adjacent to Palm Springs, where the violent crime rate is 6 times the national average, while the golf courses next door have private security. A college town that spent $1 billion on a UC campus and still has a poverty rate above 20%. A Northern California city whose downtown has been described as an open-air drug market because the illegal marijuana economy that sustained it was destroyed by legal marijuana. A desert truck stop that Hunter S. Thompson used as the gateway to drug-fueled madness in 1971, and which actually became a methamphetamine corridor. California's median home price is $809,000. When you see a listing for $200,000, the price is not a deal. It is an explanation of something the listing won't show you. Like this video if you have ever scrolled past a suspiciously cheap California listing on Zillow and wondered what the catch was. Subscribe because the catch is always there. You just need someone to read the fine print. Let us break it down. Number 12. Needles. Population roughly 5,000. San Bernardino County, Eastern Mojave Desert, Interstate 40, and the hottest city in California. Needles regularly records summer temperatures above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The all-time record is 125. That is not weather. That is an assault. The town is isolated. The nearest major city is Barstow, 150 miles west. The nearest full-service hospital is roughly an hour away in Bullhead City, Arizona. If you have a medical emergency in California's hottest town, your ambulance is heading to another state. The median household income is approximately $33,000, roughly half the California median. The economy depends on passing Interstate 40 traffic and a handful of government jobs. Population has been declining steadily. Drug-related crime has increased as the economic base has eroded. One resident described Needles as a place where the heat decides your schedule and the isolation decides your options. Translation: the town named after sharp rocks cannot provide you with a needle in a medical emergency because the nearest ER is across the state line. Would you live somewhere so hot the pavement can burn through shoe soles? Or does 120 degrees feel like nature's way of saying no? Number 11. Marysville. Population roughly 12,500, Yuba County, Sacramento Valley. At the confluence of the Yuba and Feather Rivers, in a gold rush city that the rivers have never forgiven. Marysville was the 3rd largest city in California during the gold rush, larger than Sacramento and San Francisco at its peak. That was 175 years ago. Today, it has 12,500 people, a violent crime rate of 12.96 per 1,000 residents, more than 3 times the national average, and a chronic flooding problem that defines the city's identity. The Army Corps of Engineers built levees around Marysville because it floods. The levees help. They do not eliminate the anxiety of living behind a wall designed to keep a river from destroying your house. In 2017, the Oroville Dam spillway upstream nearly collapsed, forcing 188,000 evacuations. Marysville was in the flood zone. Downtown has struggled with vacancy and economic decline. The median home price is low, roughly $300,000, but that price reflects the risk. Number 10. Chico. Population roughly 101,000, Butte County, Sacramento Valley, home to Cal State Chico, and a college town that absorbed an entire city's worth of refugees overnight and has not recovered. Chico was historically known as a pleasant college town with cheap rent and a laid-back vibe. Playboy once ranked it the #1 party school in America. Then, November 8, 2018 happened. The Camp Fire, the deadliest wildfire in California history. destroyed the neighboring town of Paradise, killed 85 people, and displaced roughly 50,000 residents. Thousands of those people relocated to Chico, the nearest city of any size. The sudden influx overwhelmed housing, social services, and infrastructure. Homelessness surged, rent spiked, crime increased, drug-related activity, particularly fentanyl, has risen significantly. Wildfire smoke during fire season can make the air hazardous for weeks. One person who lived in Chico before and after the campfire described it as watching your college town become a disaster zone in a single day. The kegs got replaced by tent encampments. That is not an exaggeration. That is a timeline. Translation: the city famous for parties is now struggling with the aftermath of absorbing an entire destroyed community. Growth by catastrophe is not the same as growth by choice. Be honest. Could you watch your hometown transform overnight because a neighboring city burned to the ground? Number 9. Merced. Population roughly 86,000, Merced County, Central Valley, home to the University of California, Merced, and proof that a billion-dollar university cannot fix a city's problems by itself. UC Merced opened in 2005, the first new UC campus in over 40 years. The idea was to transform the region, bring research, bring jobs, bring hope. 20 years later, the campus has over 9,000 students. The city still has a poverty rate above 20%. The violent crime rate is approximately 8.9 per 1,000 residents, more than double the national average. Methamphetamine has been a persistent problem in Merced County for decades. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees. Air quality in the San Joaquin Valley is consistently ranked among the worst in the United States. The valley's geography traps pollution like a bowl-trapped soup. The American Lung Association gives the San Joaquin Air Basin an F for ozone and an F for particulate matter. One resident described Merced as a town where the university is beautiful and everything around it is still struggling. Can we talk about what that means? Because a billion-dollar campus surrounded by 20% poverty is either a work in progress or a case study in how deeply rooted Central Valley problems are. The university provides jobs, it provides education, it provides hope on a brochure. It has not provided enough to move the needle on poverty, crime, or air quality in 2 decades. The campus is real. The problems around it are too. Number 8, Eureka. Population roughly 27,000, Humboldt County, North Coast, on Humboldt Bay, 270 miles north of San Francisco, and a city that is simultaneously gorgeous and in crisis. Eureka has Victorian architecture that would make San Francisco jealous, a waterfront that could anchor a tourism economy, and a downtown that has been described by residents and visitors as an open-air drug market. Fentanyl and methamphetamine are widespread. Humboldt County has one of the highest per capita overdose death rates in California. The city is also extremely isolated, a 4.5-hour drive to Sacramento on winding 2-lane highways, no freeway, no quick way out. Here is what nobody tells you about Eureka. The economy was built on 3 things: timber, fishing, and illegal marijuana. Timber has declined for decades. Fishing is a fraction of what it was. And when California legalized recreational cannabis in 2016, the bottom fell out of the illegal market. Humboldt County was the epicenter of the Emerald Triangle, the region that produced the majority of California's illegal weed. Legal industrial scale grows undercut small Humboldt growers overnight. The county that built its economy on illegal cannabis was destroyed by legal cannabis. Eureka's homelessness and drug crisis are partly a downstream effect of an entire underground economy collapsing. The weather does not help. Eureka receives roughly 40 inches of rain a year and averages over 200 cloudy days. One person described living in Eureka as beautiful sadness. The town looks like it belongs in a travel magazine and feels like it belongs in a case study. Picture this. You are walking through Old Town Eureka on a foggy morning. Victorian storefronts with ornate trim line the waterfront. A gallery sells local art. A restaurant offers fresh-caught fish. And on the next block, A tent encampment lines the sidewalk and someone is in visible crisis. The architecture says one thing, the street says another. Both are Eureka. If you've made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel and sharing this video with your friends and families. It's completely free, and we bring new videos about our country. Number 7. Madera, population roughly 67,000. Madera County, Central Valley, Highway 99 between Fresno and Merced, and a town named after an industry that no longer exists. Madera means lumber in Spanish. The town was founded as a lumber shipping point in the 1870s. The timber industry left a long time ago. What remains is a poverty rate of approximately 30%, nearly 3 times the national average. The median household income is roughly $38,000. The California median is $91,000. That is not a gap. That is a canyon. Violent crime runs approximately 60% above the national average. The economy is dominated by agriculture, which provides seasonal work at wages that keep people below the poverty line even when they are employed. Summer temperatures routinely exceed 100 degrees. The air quality is among the worst in the nation. The San Joaquin Valley Air Basin consistently earns F grades from the American Lung Association. Madera is stuck between Fresno and Merced, 2 larger cities that are themselves struggling, without the population, tax base, or identity to compete. One resident described Madera as the town that time forgot between 2 towns that wish they could forget their problems. Translation: a town named after lumber has no lumber industry. What it has is a 30% poverty rate, $38,000 median income, and air that the American Lung Association fails every year. Number 6. Barstow, population roughly 25,000. San Bernardino County, Mojave Desert, at the junction of Interstate 15 and Interstate 40, and the town that Hunter S. Thompson used as the gateway to drug-fueled madness, which then actually became a drug-fueled madness gateway. In 1971, Thompson wrote the most famous opening line in modern American literature. We were somewhere around Barstow on the edge of the desert when the drugs began to take hold. That was fiction. What happened over the next 5 decades was not. Barstow sits at the crossroads of 2 major interstates. I-15 runs from LA to Las Vegas, and I-40 stretches across the continent. That makes Barstow a natural waypoint for travelers. It also makes it a natural corridor for drug trafficking. The surrounding desert provided isolated locations for methamphetamine labs in the 1990s and 2000s. Today, the drug problem has shifted to fentanyl, but the corridor remains active. The violent crime rate is roughly double the national average. The economy depends on passing traffic, distribution warehouses, and the Marine Corps logistics base at Fort Irwin, 37 miles north. Median home prices hover around $250,000, cheap by California standards, but the price reflects the conditions. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 110 degrees. Population has been declining. One person who grew up in Barstow described it as the place where the road from LA to Las Vegas stops for gas and pretends it did not notice the rest of the town. Can we talk about the irony? Because a writer used Barstow as a literary metaphor for where the hallucinations start, and then the actual town became a methamphetamine hub. That is not a coincidence, that is a prophecy. The literary metaphor became the literal reality. Thompson imagined Barstow as the edge of madness, the town obliged. Picture this: you are driving a I-15 through Barstow at 2 a.m. on the way to Las Vegas. Fast food signs glow on both sides of the highway. A truck stop is packed. The desert is black beyond the lights. You do not stop except for gas. Nobody does. And that is the problem. Barstow is a town that 40 million people drive through every year on their way to somewhere else. The drive-through economy is the economy. The town that sits at the crossroads of 2 interstates has been run over by both of them. Would you live at the intersection of 2 highways that 40 million people use as a pass-through? Or does being everyone's gas stop feel like a metaphor you would rather not inhabit? Remember needles at number 12? Needles is isolated and hot. Barstow is connected to everything and still declining. The Interstate brought traffic. It did not bring prosperity. It brought drugs. Number 5. Desert Hot Springs. Population roughly 32,000, Riverside County, Coachella Valley, directly adjacent to Palm Springs, and the starkest wealth divide you can see from a single intersection in California. Desert Hot Springs and Palm Springs share a border. They share a climate. They share almost nothing else. Palm Springs has mid-century modern architecture, private security patrols, manicured golf courses, and a median home price above $600,000. Desert Hot Springs has a violent crime rate approximately 6 times the national average, a poverty rate above 25%, and a median home price around $350,000 that reflects neither the natural hot springs the city is named for, nor the lifestyle the name implies. The contrast is visible from the road. You cross a single intersection and the landscape shifts from resort pools to mobile home parks and vacant lots. Drug-related crime, particularly meth and fentanyl, is persistent. The city attempted to reinvent itself as a cannabis cultivation hub after legalization, but the statewide cannabis market collapse has undermined that strategy. Here is the detail that captures everything. Desert Hot Springs sits on top of 2 aquifers, one hot, one cold, separated by the San Andreas Fault. The hot mineral water that gives the city its name is genuinely therapeutic. Spas and wellness tourists have been coming for decades, but the city built on healing water has some of the worst health outcomes in the Coachella Valley. The springs are real. The therapy they provide has not extended to the town's economy, crime rate, or poverty. One person who moved to Desert Hot Springs from Palm Springs described it as the same sun, the same mountains, and a completely different reality. You can see the Palm Springs resort lights from your porch. Your porch is not in that reality. Translation: the dark mirror of Palm Springs is one intersection away. Same desert, same heat. 6 times the crime rate. The healing water heals everything except the economy. If you thought Barstow's literary irony was sharp, Desert Hot Springs delivers the California version, a therapeutic paradise name attached to a city that needs therapy. Would you live next door to paradise if paradise had a fence and you were on the wrong side of it? If the Coachella Valley's wealth divide feels personal, the next entry is a city where the problem is not who lives there. It is that the city was never designed for people to live there at all. Number 4. Commerce. Population roughly 12,800, Los Angeles County, east of downtown LA along the I-5 and I-710 corridors, and a city that was designed for shipping containers, not people. Commerce has one of the highest property crime rates per capita in the entire state of California, exceeding 120 incidents per 1,000 residents. That is not a typo. 120 property crimes per 1,000 residents. But here's the thing. The number is structurally misleading, and that is actually what makes commerce so fascinating and so terrible to live in simultaneously. Commerce has only about 12,800 residents, but the city contains the Citadel Outlets Mall, enormous warehouses, distribution centers, and the Commerce Casino, one of the largest card clubs in the world. Hundreds of thousands of workers and visitors pass through Commerce daily. The property crimes are happening at the commercial facilities, not primarily in residential neighborhoods. But the statistics are calculated using the residential population as the denominator, which makes commerce look statistically more dangerous than almost any city in California. The people who live in commerce are not the primary victims. They are the collateral damage of living in a city that was designed for commerce. The name is not a coincidence, rather than for human habitation. And the residential quality of life reflects it. The city is bisected by 3 freeways, I-5, I-710, and SR-60. Constant truck traffic, diesel emissions from the I-710 corridor, one of the most polluted freight routes in America. Noise that never stops. One resident described commerce as a city where the warehouses are the citizens and the people are the afterthought. Translation: the city with the highest property crime per capita in California has 12,800 residents and 1 million daily visitors. The crime is not about the residents. The residents are about the geography. You live in Commerce because the rent is low. The rent is low because you live between 3 freeways and a casino. The name is not ironic. It is a mission statement. If you thought Madera being named after a vanished lumber industry was ironic, Commerce is named after exactly what it is, and what it is has nothing to do with quality of life. If you thought a city designed for warehouses sounded dystopian, the next entry is a town where the dystopia is not metaphorical. The ground itself is rejecting the buildings on top of it. Number 3. Corcoran. Population roughly 21,000. Kings County, Central Valley, Tulare Lake Basin, and a prison town that is literally sinking into the earth. Corcoran has 2 defining features. The first is its 2 California state prisons, Corcoran State Prison and the California Substance Abuse Treatment Facility, which together house over 7,500 inmates. In a town of 21,000 total population, that means more than 1/3 of the people within city limits are incarcerated. The prison economy dominates. It provides jobs, it limits diversification, it defines the town's identity whether residents want it to or not. The second defining feature is that the ground is collapsing. The San Joaquin Valley's intensive groundwater pumping, farmers extracting water to irrigate crops in one of the most productive agricultural regions on Earth, has caused the land to subside. Near Corcoran, the ground has sunk over 28 feet since the 1920s. That is more than the height of a 2-story building. NASA has documented it from space using satellite radar. The sinking is ongoing. At the current rate of 1 to 2 feet per year in the worst areas, the consequences are compounding. Roads crack, canals warp, bridge clearances change, building foundations shift. And here's the detail that elevates Corcoran from a bad place to live to a genuinely alarming situation. The California Aqueduct, which carries water from Northern California to 27 million people in Southern California, runs through the subsidence zone. The aqueduct has been damaged by the sinking. The infrastructure that supplies water to most of Southern California is being compromised by the same groundwater pumping that makes Central Valley agriculture possible. Corcoran is sinking because farmers pump water to grow food. The town that feeds America is being consumed by the process. The ground that feeds the nation is eating the town. The poverty rate is approximately 25%. Summer temperatures exceed 100 degrees. One person who grew up in Corcoran described it as the only town where you can measure the decline in feet per year. Picture this. You are driving through Corcoran on a flat Central Valley road. Agricultural fields stretch to the horizon. 2 prison complexes are visible behind razor wire. The road has a crack running through it that was not there 3 years ago. A canal beside the road is slightly misaligned. The walls are not quite parallel anymore. Everything looks normal. Nothing is. The ground beneath your tires is measurably lower than it was when you were here last year. You cannot feel it. NASA can see it from space. Number 2. El Centro. Population roughly 45,000. Imperial County, Imperial Valley. 10 miles from the Mexican border, 120 miles east of San Diego, and the city with the highest unemployment rate of any metropolitan area in the United States. El Centro's unemployment rate peaks above 30% during agricultural off-seasons and consistently hovers between 15 and 20%, even in the best months. The Imperial Valley's economy is almost entirely agricultural, creating boom and bust employment cycles tied to planting and harvest seasons. When the fields need workers, everyone works. When they do not, everyone waits. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 115 degrees Fahrenheit. The all-time record is above 120. The area is one of the hottest inhabited places in the Western Hemisphere. Air conditioning is not a comfort, it is a medical necessity. The poverty rate is approximately 25%. The nearest major city is San Diego, a 2-hour drive over a mountain pass. Healthcare access is limited. Air quality suffers from agricultural dust, pesticide drift, and emissions from the New River, once called the most polluted river in the United States, which carries untreated sewage and industrial waste from Mexicali. Mexico across the border into the Imperial Valley. Here is the statistic that captures everything about El Centro. Imperial County produces over $2 billion in agricultural products annually. It is one of the most productive farming regions in the world. The workers who grow the food earn some of the lowest wages in California. They live in some of the hottest conditions in the Western Hemisphere. They face the highest unemployment rate in the nation. A county that feeds America cannot feed itself. That is not a slogan. That is a census statistic. One farm worker described the cycle as working in heat that would shut down a construction site, earning barely enough to rent a place with air conditioning, and then waiting 3 months for the next season to start. Translation: the most productive agricultural county in California has the worst unemployment in the United States. The people who grow your food live in 115-degree heat, earn poverty wages, and experience unemployment that would constitute a national emergency if it happened anywhere that the media paid attention to. If you thought Corcoran's irony was sharp, a town sinking because it grows food, El Centro's is sharper. The food grows. The people who grow it do not. Imperial County is approximately 85% Hispanic or Latino, the only majority Latino county in California. The workers who sustain one of the most productive farming regions on Earth are invisible to the rest of the state. El Centro does not appear in California tourism campaigns. It does not appear in relocation guides. It appears in Bureau of Labor Statistics reports as the worst unemployment in the nation year after year, while the fields around it produce $2 billion of food for tables it will never sit at. Number 1. Pomona. Population roughly 151,000. Los Angeles County, 30 miles east of downtown LA along the I-10 corridor, and the city that best represents what happens when every economic wave leaves a California city behind. Pomona is the largest city on this list. It is also the most instructive. In the 1950s and 60s, Pomona was a prosperous suburban city with a thriving downtown, good schools, and a growing population. It had department stores, it had restaurants, it had optimism. Then, manufacturing left. The factories that provided middle-class jobs relocated or closed. Then, retail left. The shopping centers moved to newer suburbs. Then, investment left. Developers looked elsewhere. What remained was a city with high crime, persistent gang activity, industrial blight, and a poverty rate of approximately 20%. The violent crime rate is approximately 7.5 per 1,000 residents, nearly double the national average. Gang violence has been a problem for decades, concentrated in specific neighborhoods that have seen little reinvestment. The median household income is roughly $58,000. Affordable by California standards, but a reflection of limited opportunity rather than low cost of living. Here is what makes Pomona's situation particularly painful. The city is surrounded by wealthier neighbors. Claremont to the north is home to the Claremont Colleges, 5 prestigious liberal arts schools with manicured campuses and median home prices over $1 million. Diamond Bar to the east is an affluent suburb. Laverne to the northwest is quiet and comfortable. Pomona sits in the middle of these communities like a reminder of what happens when a city falls through the cracks of California's economy. The surrounding suburbs drive past it on the freeway. And then there is the LA County Fair. Pomona is home to the LA County Fairgrounds, the largest county fair in the United States, drawing over 1 million visitors every September. For a few weeks, Pomona becomes one of the most visited places in Southern California. Families come for the rides, the fried food, and the livestock shows. Then the fair ends, the visitors leave, and Pomona goes back to being the city that most Angelenos associate with crime and decline. 1 million people visit. Then they go home. One person who grew up in Pomona described the fair as a yearly reminder of what the city could be if anybody cared about it the other 50 weeks of the year. Picture this. You are standing at the edge of the LA County Fairgrounds on the last night of the fair. The Ferris wheel is lit up. Children are laughing. Funnel cake smoke drifts across the midway. Beyond the fairgrounds, Pomona stretches out under streetlights. a city of 151,000 people that the rest of LA County acknowledges once a year and ignores the rest. The fair is temporary. The city is permanent. The gap between what Pomona looks like during the fair and what it looks like the next morning is the gap between California's promise and California's reality. Like this video if you just learned that a California town is literally sinking into the earth and NASA has documented it from space, that the highest unemployment rate in the entire United States belongs to a county that produces over $2 billion in food, that a town built on therapeutic hot springs has a violent crime rate 6 times the national average, that a city named Commerce has 12,800 residents and the highest property crime per capita in the state because it was designed for warehouses. Not people, that the county that built its economy on illegal marijuana was destroyed by legal marijuana, that a $1 billion UC campus has not moved the needle on a 20% poverty rate in 2 decades, that Hunter S. Thompson used Barstow as the gateway to drug-fueled madness in fiction, and the town actually became a methamphetamine corridor, that a gold rush city that was once bigger than San Francisco now floods regularly and has 12,500 people, that a college town went from #1 party school to refugee camp in a single day, that a town named after lumber has no lumber industry and a 30% poverty rate, that California's hottest city has its nearest hospital in another state, and that the largest county fair in America is held in a city that LA County ignores the other 50 weeks of the year. Subscribe because every cheap listing in California has a reason for the price, and this video is the warning label that Zillow does not provide. Cheap in California is not a deal, it is an explanation. The towns on this list are not failing because the people who live there are not trying. They are failing because of structural forces, land subsidence, drug corridors, prison economies, collapsed industries, agricultural exploitation, and a state that cannot stop looking forward long enough to notice what is sinking behind it. Understanding why a place is affordable is more important than knowing that it is. Now, if you want to see the opposite, California towns growing so fast the mayor literally begged his city to stop building houses, where 60% growth in 5 years means living in a construction zone for a decade, and the nearest grocery store is a 20-minute drive. That video is next.